Okay, listen, it is safe to say that TF2 is an incredible game. It's literally one of the best of all time as far as I'm concerned. But that doesn't mean that this is a game without its own issues. And TF2 is a game that has so much wasted potential embedded into the game and its history, and I want to talk about some areas that I feel as though TF2's potential has been completely wasted. Before this video goes on much further, first of all, make sure you all subscribe. Second of all, from what I've heard, the TF team isn't huge. It hasn't been huge in a few years, according to everybody else. And apparently, some of them are literally only working on it in their spare time. And the fact that anybody is still showing this game any care enough to work on it, that's honestly more than enough for me. This game isn't perfect, but this is our game. So I appreciate anyone who still works on it. Or anybody who has worked on it in the past. If anything, I'm annoyed at Valve for not giving TF2 the same chance they've given Dota and CSGO, you know? I think the main area of potential that TF2 has that has been completely wasted is 100% the game modes. There have been so many game modes that have kind of half come into the game as a beta or something like that, which has then been scrapped. Stuff like Robot Destruction is the prime example of that, being a game mode that a lot of people got hyped for. It came into the game as kind of like an alpha or a beta for a while, and then basically got axed with no real notice, never to be seen again. And I think this is maybe because of the fact that it did get released when it was really far away from ever actually being finished. Which means people had no idea what the game mode was about, what they were meant to be doing, and a lot of it just didn't work. I remember the map didn't really have any textures at all, so it was even more confusing and even more difficult to figure out what was actually happening. People weren't going to care about this game mode in the state that it came into the game. I think if they released it, you know, a few months down the line, when quite a bit more work had been done on it, and, you know, it had textures, it had, like, some kind of explanation of what you were trying to be doing, I think Robot Destruction might have been quite a popular game mode. I don't think it would be the new Payload or the new King of the Hill, but, hey, it would be up there. I think people would enjoy it. So it makes sense that people didn't like this game mode, and then subsequently Valve axed it or forgot about it. But like I said, if it came out a little bit later or further in its development state, then I think people would have enjoyed it more. Now, that's not the only type of game mode thing that has wasted potential. I think there's a lot of game modes that are already in the game and have worked for a while that, you know, has a lot more that they could offer. Things like Arena is one that has so much potential, but unfortunately it's been basically abandoned. I still think there's so much stuff you could do with Arena. And even game modes like Special Delivery, which is what the map Doomsday is. That is a game mode with so much potential, but it hasn't been utilized properly. Maybe I'm the only one who cares about those game modes. Maybe I'm not. I have no idea. But I think just in general, like, there's so many game modes in this game that could be amazing, but just haven't been given the chance. Another thing I've personally had a problem with is how good a lot of the TF2 weapons used to be compared to how they are now. And then that normally attacks like all of the really cool, unique and interesting weapons and turns them into something that you will never equip ever because it makes no sense to. Like, yeah, I guess the Sandman bonk was a little bit annoying if you played against a scout who knew how to use it, but it was a really cool concept and most scouts couldn't use it to save their lives. And now the Sandman has been reduced to basically a stick that nobody will ever equip because it is one of the worst scout melee weapons ever. I'm also one of those people who didn't really mind the ambassador headshots back when they were a thing that you could do from range. It made Spy a little bit stronger and it rewarded good aim with him. Now, obviously, the past couple of years have basically shown why this has been a good change so far. Imagine not only sniper bots that can headshot you from anywhere, but also spy bots that can headshot you from anywhere and be invisible 90% of the time. I also know that maybe a few people are going to disagree with me on the Ambassador because it was quite a controversial weapon as far as I remember. I didn't think it was too bad. It was quite a fun way to play Spy, but I know a lot of people who got headshot a lot were also a little bit annoyed at it, and some Spies were just stupidly good with it. Yeah, I'm not going to fight that case too hard. But I hope at least you understand my point. I think there's a lot of potential for some weapons to make a really cool comeback, and even just for new weapons to come in like some of the concepts videos I've made. Anything to do with weapons for me right now is a yes. Even just some small balance changes and I would be over the moon. Like, maybe the summer update could have like a few balance changes to make a few weapons more viable or nerf some of the things that people have been complaining about. I'd like to see it. I'm not expecting it, but it would be very, very cool. Honestly, I think just in general, the scope of TF2 is absolutely massive. From all of the crazy cosmetic ideas that people have come up with and will come up with in the future, and even just how many themes you could pick to make an update around and how many interesting changes could come just from those update ideas. It is just a bit of a shame that TF2 right now isn't in the stage of its lifetime where these are all things we could feasibly look forward to, and we're all just kind of stuck in this phase of thinking about what could have been if only Valve actually cared enough to try and tempt more people to move their desk back into the TF2 room. If Valve even do that. I don't know if they do. I have no idea how the company works. In short though, I think the potential for TF2 items is also basically infinite. Like, people will constantly come up with weapon ideas, cosmetic ideas, themes for updates, artwork, war paint skins, unusual effects, all of that stuff. People have come up with it, and people will continue to come up with it for a very long time to come. Like, oh my god, the actual potential for TF2 is so insane. I genuinely believe that TF2 could be one of the biggest games out there. I know it's not a small game now, but it could definitely grow a lot bigger, and it would be amazing if Valve kind of viewed TF2 the same way they view CSGO and how they view Dota. You all know Dota's basically their baby right now. It would take quite a bit of work to get TF2 back to that, but I think it would be worth it. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you leave it a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. It would mean a lot, would help me out a bunch, and I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.